number 5 or 6 on the PR in the state. Just from he just exploded from then on out. I remember him attending a lot of like save rooms he would come to. And he was a very solid player. He had a positive record on D-Money for a while. I think he got busy and had to dip out, but like that was just kind of his breakthrough. Was he went up through King Me, no one had played him before, his massive breakout, and then he was just extremely solid from then on out. It's like, you know, it happens in a lot of different anime and shows, right? They have this intense fight and they get this massive power up, and I feel like that's what happens to a lot of players in Smash.
I feel like this especially, and granted, I've been watching this relatively recently. It's like with Blue Lock, where like, you know, you focus on like the one team, or you focus on the one, like, you know, like the group of people that you see, and then you realize off to the corner that there's someone else who's like, you know, training in a hyperbolic time chamber.
Right.
And it's just becoming this absolute menace who counters everything that you knew about Smash. That's what Sarcastic kind of like, you know, did with a bunch of like the PR players we're actually seeing on screen right now with Erictho and Koski and their respective teammates, EJ, aka Snip, and Skooks.
Yeah, I just stop and be like, which one did Erictho change their tag to? They've had so many tag changes over the years that like I was like, whoa, there's a lot of brawler players up in Norsen and Crom players, and what's going on? And it's all the same person.
I find it as well like really, really funny that it's these two players who are facing off, because these are two players who have either changed their tags repeatedly, aka Koski, but also both these players have changed the characters they're playing repeatedly. We've seen Erictho with 5 characters on a graphic. We have seen Koski just kind of pull out the Dark Pit, the Mii Brawler, the
Mega Man, the Pokemon Trainer. Yep.
Yeah.
List goes on.
Because Mega Man already dropped in January. I forget the actual specific date, but Mega Man dropped.
Listen. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, I've been begging for Eric to play Wario, and then he listened to me for like a month, and he won like every tournament he went to, and I think he stopped playing Wario again. And I was like, brother, please play Wario. Like, I remember the return because I've beaten his Junior, but I've never beaten his Wario, and I'm like, how are you ever supposed to beat his Wario? It's so clean. Looks like he's gonna opt for Junior again though. Maybe a bit of a better pick for doubles, but like, I don't know. Junior. People say Junior has no weaknesses, but obviously they're joking. But I think he has the character himself has quite a few. Looks like we're gonna get a lot of like some of the deeper character pulls though, because I feel like I'm just gonna call them Mariko things. I don't get confused.
I will also say seeing Erictho on Lemmy and not Bowser Jr. feels kind of like a Bizarro episode. But
right.
Eric proving that, like, even though he's playing a separate Koopa Link, it's not going to stop him from immediately targeting or, like, wanting to go in and fight against Koski. As now we see, like, you know, the 2 PR players, the 2 big siblings are the ones who are, like, trying to, like, get in.
Yeah, the primary aggressors here. But, I mean, you could see Erictho and EJ's just, like, combo off the beginning was really quick, 60% on Koski. That, like, that was just a really fast, really efficient team combo where they just got a solid 60% right off the gate. I am kind of curious, like Koski playing Mega Man instead of one of the other characters that I feel like maybe would be more suited for doubles. Like we just saw Mii Brawler last game. Chrom, I understand. Chrom's a little risky to play, but even like I think Pit is broken in doubles. Or Pokemon Trainer, both like because they have such good follow-up or like combo extensions. Like Pit and Air is great for just bouncing back to your teammate or edge guarding, stuff like that. But I think Mega Man's great too. It's just a harder character to play.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie in that I will never know these, like, you know, like what kind of goes in Koskik's head, like, for the character choice, but we can see, like, you know, it's like paying off like a little bit, but Yellow Team does seem to have a little bit of the advantage here. Interestingly enough, you see that EJ is actually being quite aggressive for the Samus, wanting to go in, while Erictho, he's kind of willing to play that more with punish game, the one who wants to go in with the fair after the character is set up in the first place.
Right. I'm just realizing now, I think we have 2 of Mega Man's biggest fans. The character in Smash, at least. I don't care about the games at all. But 2 of the biggest, like, Mega Man, the ultimate character fans on commentary right now. Because I know you dabble in Mega Man, I dabble in Mega Man. I think we both think this character is awesome. I think Mega Man is, like, one of, if not the coolest characters to watch in the entire game.
So cool to watch. What wasn't really cool to watch is actually EJ going to lose the stock at only 40% off of a Terry spike. Skooks is really coming in clutch and putting on a lot of just, like, you know, close pressure onto these 2 characters. But Erictho willing to, like, you know, steal out that stock is now relatively even stock count, but Koski is looking a little worse for wear.
Yeah, down he goes. Oh, not quite. Bowser Jr. Fourth throw's not quite going to cut it. Mega Man is very heavy, exceedingly so. Honestly, all these characters are way heavier than they look or should be. Like all of them on the screen right now. Terry should not weigh as much as he does.
Nope.
Samus, I kind of get. Samus is allowed to be heavy, and Junior's sometimes heavy.
Look, one of those weaknesses cannot be that you're heavy if you're trying to find weaknesses for Bowser Jr.
I think it's the fact that if you hit him on the head, he just explodes. That's a weakness. And there's plenty of aerials that come down from the top, mostly sortie fairs like Corrin, Marth, Sheik Fair, Mega Man Fair. They all kind of donk him right on the head.
Something else to point out, which is like another interesting thing about doubles, is that EJ and like Samus in general, you have moves like that fair, like that up air. They are relatively long-lasting moves. When he does manage to land one of those, Erictho is immediately ready to respond. He's not ready to respond to that though.
That
now
back
suddenly
air can take him out.
It's only EJ against the world. It's EJ against Skooks and Koski.
Almost gets that down air spike though. I mean, this is still winnable for sure. He has a pretty solid amount of percent, and then now he's not anymore after that power geyser.
That's not gonna help us. Yeah. But it does feel like Skooks is quite a little bit of like that moving tank, that moving hydrogen bomb. It might be able to kill relatively early, but if you kill your teammate in that situation instead, then it's not gonna work out. This might go in EJ's favor.
Yeah, I mean, this is straight hit city right now. Like, pretty much anything's going to kill anyone here. Like, a back air from any of those 3 characters would kill the other 2, right? So you got to be really careful who you hit if you don't hit your teammate or anything like that. But it's like the Team Norsen is going to take that one for game 1.
Yeah, it feels like Mega Man is like perfectly happy to set up those delayed timers, set up at least those interruptions, those annoyances like the lemons, like the crash bomber. But Skooks has really been like the one who's been going in, who's been adding in that shield pressure, so that way that Mega Man, that delayed hit is that much scarier. When you can forward tilt or get that shield pressure on someone who's already a little bit scared of the fact that they have to deal with everything coming from Mega Man,
right?
Suddenly, I might see a shield break. I would not be surprised to see a shield break in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Terry and Mega Man complement each other really well because Mega Man's a very measured, control the pace character. He's one of the best pace controlling and neutral dominant characters in the game, I think. Then you have Terry, who's just an absolute gorilla character that's like, yeah, I'm gonna crack shoot, down tilt, down tilt, down tilt, and then use my nair all the time and cancel it into who knows what. And so Mega Man can kind of sit back and play very reactive and kind of control the ways you can react to Terry's moves. And Terry can just be the ultimate Metal Blade that just runs in and dominates. He's just attacking as the giant Metal Blade Terry.
Speaking of this, that annoyance or the actual Metal Blade, it does seem though, at least in this game number 2, EJ has been the one who's kind of sticking a little bit back now instead. And Eric has actually been the primary aggressor in this case. He's been able to build up a lot more of those charge shots. And another down air from Skooks. They've been so good to get those early stocks.
Yeah, fantastic awareness from Skooks to just get those down airs. I mean, getting team follow-ups that secure stocks is probably the biggest thing to win in doubles. Other than just having good neutral, not getting blown up, is securing stocks, because when the faster you get rid of one of the teammates, you have a very brief window where it's a complete one-sided 2v1. And you can do whatever you want to poor Erictho or Erictho on EJ in this case, because no Erictho, now you're standing in the barrel of Terry Mega Man, and you're Samus, you have defensive options, but you're not a particularly fast character. You can't really run away.
That's true, yeah, you can't really run away. That's why you see as well, in a lot of 2v1 cases, why someone, even if they're at high percent with 2 stocks, they will opt to give their stock to their teammate. The power of having your teammate with you, sometimes it's just that great.
Yeah, anything team-based in competition gets astronomically different when you're playing alone. It's so much harder to win when you just have to deal with 2 sets of hitboxes, and that means you can't whip punish anything. Because if anything you do is you're going to get whip punished, right? So definitely a hard balance to strike if you're going to try to clutch that 2v1. Let's hope they don't get there, though. I think ET there, the alien, and EJ are trying to hope they don't end up in another situation like last game.
I'm sure they don't. And Koski surely doesn't want to end up at that point as well. Koski, they are living this, relatively safely, at least at this point. They're perfectly happy, again, as it was before, where, Skooks is the one who, wanted to go in. And now, suddenly we have to go. Now it's, the point where Koski actually might want to go in, because Koski wants to let Skooks get out those big hits, get out those big, powerful power geysers just like that, and pile on a bunch of extra damage.
Right, I think, yeah, Mega Man playing the more aggressor so that Terry can get really big follow-ups is new, just because even if the follow-up's a bit harder to hit, Buster World Power Geyser, at least it's so strong that if it does hit, it's totally worth it, right? EJ's definitely dying to a like a Buster Wolf right now if he gets hit in the corner or something. So if Koski can set that up, but unfortunately Skooks does not have go, so he cannot get that.
It's the lightest tap, and yeah, Koski is just willing to at least, like, you know, come out of the blue. Like, Koski has gotten 2 very recent stocks at this point, and they've been where Skooks was kind of like the red herring in that case. Skooks was the one who was running around, putting on the extra damage, but all it takes is that single downer from that Mega Man, that single S-Smash from Mega Man, and suddenly your entire script is flipped. Your entire stock is just departed from this world.
Yeah, it's really interesting too, because you have to figure out a proper strategy to apply. If you're losing the 2v2 scenario where you're both really like comboing off each other and trying to like play very scrappy doubles, and you're losing in 2 1v1 scenarios, it's kind of different. Here we get another 2v1 clutch. I don't even know what happened to Skooks. He just disappeared.
And interestingly enough, though, like, you know, Skooks wasn't going to take that second stock necessarily. I mean, Koski was at like 150%. I could see it in this case, but also I do agree with like sticking with the Mega Man in this case. You have the ability to essentially provide so many 50-50s that you can target switch to just build up this damage quickly between both of these players.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, Mega Man is much better in a 2v1 scenario than Terry is, because Terry doesn't have that much lag on his moves, but he also doesn't have a whole lot of like I don't know if the right word is influence on neutral. Like, you can't really like space control with Terry the same way you can with Mega Man. So you can't like cut off avenues or like stall one to hit the other, because Terry, like, you have to be hitting one of them and hope your hitbox is big enough to hit both of them, and it's not. You're going to get hit by, you know, a Samus dash attack, a charge shot, junior side B, junior dash attack, this sort of thing.
It's also a matter of Mega Man is able to throw out a lot more of those kill moves with less committal. But when you have charge shot, one of the least committal kill moves in the game,
yeah.
Sometimes, like, you know, Samus charge shot could just completely invalidate a character like that. You just got to live with that.
Yeah, definitely a good clutch from EJ and Erictho, especially after Erictho kind of got spiked early around like, what, 60-70% or so. So, yeah, good comeback from them, because that's always that's a lot of pressure to have be that one stock deficit, because it kind of doesn't, being down a stock in singles, it doesn't feel good, but being down a stock in doubles, it's always the pressure like, oh, this might be a 2v1 later that like I figured out a plan to win, and I have to get there first. But they avoided that situation, which is good for them.
There is nothing scarier than fighting someone who is literally happy to say, have you ever played Smash with your life on the line?
Right.
But it's only a single stock. But now I believe, yeah, we're just going back to PS2.
Yeah, we're going to hang out here.
We've seen shenanigans, but I think both of like every single character on
the Illinois banjo player, actually he's Iowa. The Iowa banjo player?
Faringi?
No, true shenanigans.
There's the fact that there's 2 of them like kind of like scares me.
Pop, come back. We need your banjo. We need reps.
We need the reps, but I mean, it looks like both of these, like, you know, players, both for like, you know, Skooks and EJ as well, like they want to get the reps in before singles starts. But both of these PR players of Erictho and Koski, they want to get in the reps because this is their event. This is the time where they could show up and get that victory. You're
only allowed to play right now, so you better make it count. Meanwhile, I mean, maybe for EJ and Skooks, this is kind of a warm up of like, hey, we're getting ready for singles. You know, we're getting a lot of play in, getting your brain going. You're used to playing neutral, reacting to things properly, things like that. But
you see, like, you know, Skooks off the side, but Koski perfectly happy to remove that edge guarding situation. But that classic, that patented Bowser Jr., you always know it, but you always kind of forget it. That little up B past the legend, up air as well off the top.
Yeah, you can't jump during that, or you'll just die.
We are seeing some silly kills, I will say. We see silly kills in doubles all the time, but we're seeing some extra silliness today.
I'm still waiting for like a Terry like up air up B into like Mega Man up air killing at some obscene %, but I'm not sure we're gonna get the chance to see that. I feel like EJ and Eric have been playing pretty well around each other, so that they're not usually left alone for too long to get hit by a big doubles combo. And that one would take quite a while to hit. And all 4 of these characters honestly have decent verticality in terms of like getting up somewhere pretty quickly. Especially, you know, Junior, Samus, and Mega Man. Terry, not quite so much, but at least when he does it, it's invincible, right?
But when you can also, like, you know, have Terry as that character who will set up to get the character up into that tall blast zone, that's really, like, you know, what you do need. All you need is you need that one character that has that verticality, that can follow up off of getting launched up into the heavens.
Yeah, he's got to call in that assist. Yeah, it looks like they're swapping swapping targets this time again. I mean, before we had Koski against EJ, and now Eric is going to take over Koski, and Skooks didn't have to fight EJ, but I mean, that's where we got those 2 early spikes from Skooks before, right? Was the big down airs, so
They're swapping
mindful.
They're swapping dance partners, but like, you know, Skooks proving like, you know, he's here to tango. He's getting a lot of these big hits, a lot of these go hits onto Erictho and on EJ. So much damage at this point.
He's so heavy though. He lived that like at 110.
Not quite gonna kill just yet on Koski. We haven't seen too many, at least like of the kills, but
Time to go.
not gonna kill just yet. And now suddenly we have Skooks down to his last stock, but we also see the yellow team relatively high percent for both of these, and Koski very healthy at this point.
Yeah, the lead is arguably fleeting for EJ and ET here, but yeah, there goes. now it's even in stocks. I mean, well, look at Koski's percent. He was at 0 like, I don't know, 10 seconds ago, and now he's at 78.
Look, I wasn't like looking, but I can almost feel confident that this character with no weaknesses, Kazu Jr. just decided to blink in Koski's direction, and suddenly they're at over close to 85%.
Thanks for reminding me Junior is the one with no weaknesses and it wasn't Mega Man.
Honestly, I thought it was both. But the one weakness is, though, at least that that Mega Man does have, is that Koski got their stock taken away from them, at least like to give another stock to their partner, Skooks in this case.
Right, you really have to gauge how worth it is it. Because I mean, Koski's a very solid player. They've been PR like every season. They've actually put in like real effort at trying to get there, you know. And they've been usually quite high PR at that. But sometimes just having again that extra body, like someone to block, someone to distract the enemy team, so it's not a 2v1, is more important than just being able to like be the stronger player.
And we talked about like, you know, like Skooks like taking the stuff from Koski, as Skooks is now the first one to die in this 2v2 situation.
Yeah, good targeting from EJ and ET just to get rid of the Terry. Don't let him be a threat. Don't let him have go and hang around for a long time. Just take him out.
But now, if you're like, you know, Koski in a situation, you have to get rid of
Erictho,
EJ
jab
now, not in a bit. Now.
Are you dead? Not quite.
Oh, the snipe off in the air from that far away.
Yeah, I mean, Koski's been coming back with those leaf shields almost every single time, just because what else are you gonna do? You have to get rid of the projectiles somehow, so you can kind of force a high-low, like pick one kind of option. But Eric Yon's just gonna cover